Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. 96 minutes of terror, the UT Tower shooting that changed America. Gather round, folks, for a tale that shattered the quiet of a sweltering Texas summer day and forever changed the face of American violence. On August 1st, 1966, the University of Texas at Austin became the stage for a tragedy that would haunt the nation for decades to come. Picture this. It's a scorching Monday in Austin, Texas. Students and faculty are going about their day, some hurrying to classes, others enjoying the summer session's relaxed pace. The iconic University of Texas Tower stands tall against the clear blue sky, a 307-foot monument to knowledge and ambition. But on this day, it would become a vantage point for terror. At 11:48 a.m., a young architectural engineering student named Charles Whitman steps onto the observation deck of the tower. But Whitman isn't there to admire the view. In his arms, he carries a footlocker full of guns and ammunition. What follows is 96 minutes of horror that will leave 14 dead, 31 wounded, and a nation grappling with a new kind of violence. But let's rewind a bit. Who was Charles Whitman, and what drove him to this unthinkable act? Whitman was an intelligent and accomplished young man, a former Marine sharpshooter who had been struggling with mental health issues for months. He had sought help for violent impulses and severe headaches, but his struggles remained largely unaddressed. The night before the shooting, he penned a chilling note. "I don't really understand myself these days. I am supposed to be an average, reasonable, and intelligent young man. However, lately, I can't recall when it started, I have been a victim of many unusual and irrational thoughts." In the early hours of August 1st, Whitman murdered his wife and mother in their homes, leaving notes expressing his love for them and his belief that he was sparing them from future pain. Then, he headed to the university campus with an arsenal of weapons, including rifles, pistols, and a shotgun. As Whitman began his rampage from the tower's observation deck, confusion reigned on the ground. The first shots were mistaken for construction noise or firecrackers, but as bodies began to fall, the horrifying reality set in. Students, professors, and passers-by found themselves caught in the open, easy targets for Whitman's deadly aim. One of the first victims was Claire Wilson, an 18-year-old student who was 8 months pregnant, walking across campus with her boyfriend, Thomas Ekman. Both were shot. Claire was severely wounded but survived, while Thomas was killed instantly. As she lay wounded on the scorching concrete, a young woman named Rita Starpattern risked her own life to lie next to Claire, keeping her conscious and shielded from the searing heat. As the minutes ticked by, acts of heroism multiplied. Students used their own bodies as shields to drag wounded victims to safety. Some sought cover behind vehicles, while others lay flat on the ground to avoid the sniper's line of sight. Alan Crum, a university bookstore employee, made his way to the tower to assist law enforcement. He would later join Austin police officers Ramiro Martinez and Houston McCoy in the final confrontation with Whitman. Meanwhile, civilians with hunting rifles began to return fire at the tower, pinning Whitman down and limiting his ability to target victims on the ground. This impromptu civilian response would later spark debates about the role of armed citizens in active shooter situations. At 1:24 p.m., Officers Martinez and McCoy, accompanied by Crum, reached the observation deck. In a brief but intense shootout, they killed Whitman, bringing an end to the terror that had gripped Austin for 96 agonizing minutes. The aftermath of the shooting was a mixture of grief, shock, and soul-searching. How could this happen? What could have been done to prevent it? These questions would echo through the decades, resurfacing with tragic regularity as mass shootings became an all-too-familiar part of American life. The University of Texas Tower shooting marked a turning point in American history. It was one of the first mass shootings to unfold in the media age, with live radio broadcasts describing the events as they happened. The incident led to the creation of rapid response teams across the country, as law enforcement recognized the need for specialized units to handle such situations. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of the story came during Whitman's autopsy. A brain tumor was discovered, pressing against his amygdala, the part of the brain involved in emotional regulation and fear responses. This finding sparked debates about the intersection of mental health, biology, and violence that continue to this day. The Tower shooting left an indelible mark on the University of Texas and the nation as a whole. For years, the observation deck remained closed to the public. When it reopened in 1999, it was with new security measures and a new purpose, not just as a lookout point, but as a place of remembrance. A memorial garden was installed on campus, dedicated to the victims of that tragic day. As we reflect on this tragic event, we're confronted with questions that still haunt us today. How do we balance personal freedoms with public safety? How can we better address mental health issues before they escalate to violence? And how do we honor the memory of those lost while moving forward as a society? The University of Texas Tower shooting stands as a dark milestone in American history, a harbinger of a violent era that, sadly, we're still grappling with today. It sparked ongoing discussions about mental health care, gun control, and campus safety that continue to shape our national dialogue. It's a reminder of the fragility of peace, the complexity of the human mind, and the enduring resilience of communities in the face of unthinkable tragedy. This is American Shadows, where we peer into the darker corners of our nation's past. Until next time, remember that even in our darkest moments, there are always those who run towards danger to help others. It's in these acts of courage and compassion that we find hope for a better future.